Hey y'all, I'm Kai with the braids.
And it's your boy NJ Cheese.
And this is
KC Talks. We've been practicing
multiple times.
Yes.
This might be like the fifth take, but it's okay. That's all that matters. We got back to it. Got back on the horse.
Yep.
This clip, I'm not sure if a lot of you have seen it, but Cam Newton and Dr. Bryant, I know very little about either one really. I don't really know much about Cam Newton. I don't watch football. Nothing that he says or does really catches my attention. I know he may be considered somebody who's fashionable. But then again, who am I? What do I know? I'm just a regular civilian. But yeah, a lot of the things he was saying was very outlandish.
Super passive aggressive, super.
Yeah, the entire interview seemed like they were just throwing jabs at each other. Like they were coming from completely different sides of the spectrum. And I think Dr. Bryant, she really carried herself in a manner that was like, you can say what you want to say, but I'm also going to get my point across, and it's going to come off very elegantly. You're not going to overtalk me. She carried herself very well, but I think Cam just came from this place of, I say what I want, I make my rules, and I live by those rules, which is great for him. I just think that when you're having a conversation with somebody, you can't have that stance. Like you can't be so close-minded to what the other person is saying or shutting down everything that they say or have this passive-aggressive remark.
Yeah, I don't think this is like the platform for it. Like if you want to do a debate with her, then okay. But like it was already coming off as like right away he wanted to just be like, well, I don't know how anybody can shame her. She's got 2 degrees. She's 41 with no kids. Okay, like big deal. But he was trying to be like, well, you don't have kids. You're single, and it was like that's all he had.
And he kept on
harping on these things, and it was like everything she was saying was more like factual, and then everything he was saying was more just jabs at her.
Right.
Even from you guys, even if you watch it, when he's like, "Oh, where are you from?" and she kind of goes into where she's from and how it made her, right, like who she is. And then he's like, okay, well, I just asked you this question. You didn't have to go into all that.
It was very sassy. I know he doesn't like that word, but I'm going to use it because that's what it gave. It didn't give off very masculine. It just gave off you don't know better than me. It gave off very, But,
I think he was replying. He was listening to reply. Like he wasn't listening to listen.
For sure.
He was just like soon as she would talk, he would just come at her. It was just like, even a lot of times you'll see she talks to him like a kid sometimes. But I'm going to give him a little bit of credit. He definitely handled himself better than Nick Cannon. I couldn't even watch the Nick Cannon. Yeah. Like I literally couldn't watch it. It was making me so angry. Yeah. But we're not even going to talk about him.
But before we jump to seeing the clip, I just want to talk about how his relationship with Jazzy, he didn't, the 2 hours that they were speaking, he didn't even acknowledge the fact that he had a partner or that he was in a relationship until like the last 30 minutes of it. And again, this entire conversation was centered around family, loved ones, marriage, kids. Like it was all centered around that. And he didn't touch on it at all. So it was kind of weird to me. If you've listened to Jazzy, I don't really follow her on Instagram either. I listened to her on the Deadass podcast. She came there and she basically said, nobody needs to understand my relationship, me and my partner. Again, not saying Cam Newton specifically, my baby dad, like just saying that she's number 3. But again, I think her thing is she wants to be everybody to the punch of making her feel less than or realizing that this man has a cycle of having kids and not wanting to progress his family or build an actual family. So I think in order to deflect, she just jumps around or beats everyone to the punch. And she's like, yeah, I understand our relationship. We understand our relationship. What I love about our relationship is that it's so, what did she say? That it's so private that nobody knows what's going on. And again, even though she keeps on reiterating this, it's kind of like, really?
And it's private, but kind of not private because she will go on platforms and openly talk about it.
Right.
This is why we're just going to talk about this and then we're going to get into it.
Right.
The reason this relationship seemed one-sided is because she openly talks about it. She done went on a whole comedy show and talked about their relationship.
Right.
He barely ever, I think honestly, this is the first time I even heard him be like, yeah, this is my partner. Like, I don't really think he's even mentioned her on podcasts that I've watched. I'm not a huge fan, but I do watch some of the podcasts, like the one he had with Shannon Sharp and shit like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, so he barely acknowledges, and she always, in a weird way, yeah, kind of acknowledges when it's podcast that she goes on.
And it's like he
So it's one
focuses on.
sided. Yeah.
Okay,
No. So it's just one sided. It just seems very one sided. So I think even one of the things, like, would it be so hard for him to be like, even just come out and say, look, everybody, I know y'all giving Jazzy like, y'all running her through the mud right now, but yo, that's my girl. I love her. We love each other.
Right.
And, this works for us. Boom. That's it.
But he doesn't even do that.
He doesn't because they want to
acknowledge her.
keep it private.
Private and secret are two different things.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I've noticed a lot of people watching shows and all this. Everybody's saying partner. Like, are we trying to low key remove the girlfriend, boyfriend, like name, like even like anything?
I get what
Oh,
you're
this is
saying.
my partner. Oh, my partner is at home waiting for me, so I gotta get like.
I think what that is trying to be like, I'm a girlfriend, but I'm not a wife. I'm in between. Like, I could get how I would say, yeah, that's my partner. My partner, well, we're partners at work too. My partner. You're like, yeah, that's my partner. I could get how I could say that because again, like we're like right before the marriage part.
We've talked about this, and this is going to be on another video because we talked about this today.
Can I correct it? Yeah. Or can I give you more
information? Heck yeah.
So, I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I thought I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now.
So right, he has 8 children by 3 different women. Prior to Jazzy, he had 7 children by 2 different women. So what does that tell you? He likes having sex with these 2 women, right? Or maybe I don't know the gap between the ages between the children, but it sounds like he likes having sex with these 2 women. And in my head, that would be a red flag.
Yeah, we do have to do research on the second baby mother, oldest, and like when was. But yeah. That's a deep dive. That's a deep dive.
Yeah, I just still think, regardless, that's a red flag. You're going back and forth between 2 women. Now a third in the mix.
And real quick, we're gonna let it fly. We're gonna let the video fly. But I get, yes, Cam Newton is the one inserting. Yes, I get it. But at the same time, ladies, you met a guy that got 5 kids by like 2, 3, 4 different women. You gotta use your brain. Some of y'all, sometimes you gotta be like, I don't understand. Like, I think Jazzy, yes, it looks crazy a little bit, but I can't completely say the guys, Nick Cannon and him, is just using all his money and throwing this at them and manipulating them in such a crazy way that they just have more and more and more kids. Like, where's the women that's gonna be like, bro, like, get away from me? You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying.
But we're focused on him. I'm not trying to, but ladies, come on.
The honest truth is, I think a lot of women, we believe that we're the exception to the rule. We're not the rule. We're the exception. I think that's where a lot of us are like, oh yeah, he has 2 other baby moms. He has all these kids. He didn't marry them, but maybe they just weren't for him. I'm for him. And
Jazzy's whole tour was called Third Time's the Charm.
Yeah.
So I 100% agree with what you...
she believes she's the exception to the rule. And how he presented himself in this, well, let's finish the clip and then we can dive a little bit more, I think.
It's so outrageous. It's hard to even get into because it's just
you want to cut it. You want to chew him up at every turn.
But
sorry.
We're going to let it fly. We're going to let it fly. I'm going to go back a little bit. Uninterrupted. Here you go.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I just want God.
About your wife?
I just want God to bring me.
Oh, okay. And you just
because
I'm sorry. I just want God to bring them. However, you're literally, it's a needle. You're inserting So I hate that. I hate what he said, but
Yeah. And the fact earlier in the video, he said his desire to get married is lower than his fear of divorce. So I think that's what he was standing on, the leg he was standing on this entire um interview. But again, it still comes back to, so you're okay with continuously just having kids, broken homes, just creating them. Regardless of how active you are, it's still a broken home because the mom's not there, you're not there. Either way, somebody, the kid is missing out somewhere. And again, it's hard to watch. It's hard to
he
watch.
thought the W
He thought
was,
he-
well, the kids live with me.
He thought
But that
he
means the mom doesn't, which means it's still a
broken
break.
home.
But
No,
By multiple women? What's the
I
intent?
just
Just
want God
about
to
your wife.
bring. I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just,
Because my point is this: my desire to get married
Mhm.
is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Bryant, you said it. I didn't say it. I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
you're not taking your time.
I am though.
You're being very action based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action based.
look at his face.
You're being very action
He's like,
based. You have 8
he's
kids
like, wait,
with
what?
3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active.
Mm.
Okay. So you're creating,
Mhm.
in disclaimer. The kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I
Always.
say has nothing to do with them babies. Because I can't wait to be a mom. And I love, 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 love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time.
Mhm.
You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Kim? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father. And I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there.
Mhm.
Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior to say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can solve.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish.
At least she said
And so,
almost.
yes, you're
Right.
taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy. And it's a huge dysfunction within our Black community that I truly believe personally, statistically, mental health wise, and community wise, that Black men would stop.
Black men will what?
Stop doing that. That they would stop that dysfunctional behavior
Stop
of
doing what you're doing.
compartmentalizing
Just
and creating
Like, huh?
houses, not homes, and then finally a home with a wife. And then you have all these other houses that are homeless. But you over here, at some point, when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will. You'll get whatever you want. You're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish. Epitome of selfish.
The entire time he was literally waiting to just respond. Like, I don't even know if he was really actually hearing what she was saying. Like, he was literally just, wait, can I talk? Can I talk? It's my turn. Like, how's that fair?
And I know y'all probably want to be like, well, what was his rebuttal? His rebuttal was, well, my kids live with me. And then That pretty much was his response. That was his response. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's still a break, and I think the problem is, I think what's missing Cam Newton and Nick Cannon is they feel like, well, the kids have plenty of food, a nice roof over their head, they're in private school, and they can have whatever they want.
Right.
So they're good. When it's like, it's more than just money. Everybody knows it's just Judge Mathis. We just seen. He's like, yo, I've been working so much getting this money that I'm losing my wife because I'm not in the house because I'm chasing money, 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 money. So money isn't everything. We see plenty of people with money that's committing suicide and not happy and on drugs to mask the depression and sadness.
Right.
So for them, they just like, well, I'm taking care of them. I'm not saying they bad dads. They probably great dads, but at the end of the day, you're creating a break, which in turn messes up the kids. Y'all don't have to live
Right.
with the kids. Like, you think your kid's not gonna be 13, 14 in all these prep schools with all these people that's gonna be like, yo, that's Cam Newton's son. His dad's Cam Newton, because you know what? All the rich people, they're still together. They're married. Billionaires, millionaires that's going to these private schools, they're married. They all have brothers and sisters. Everybody's in the home. So they like, oh yeah, that's Cam Newton. Yeah, he got. And you never know. This depression and all this stuff falls back. Even Amber Rose's son was getting bullied for her having an OnlyFans. So these kids eventually are going to talk. We know kids are mean, especially nowadays. If he got a teenage son, they might be getting made fun of because of this clip right here. You never know.
And it's like, how do you take your time with finding a wife, but but you want to have kids, like multiple kids? Like how is that justifiable? Like how aren't they supposed to go hand in hand? Aren't they supposed to work together? Like how does that work? How are we justifying that? And I think his response continues to be because I can, because I have the money.
I have the money,
Like
and I take care of my kids.
Exactly. It's just it's a terrible cycle. And I think again, I hope Jazzy is really like honestly, genuinely happy in their relationship, and it really is a double-sided relationship and not just her pouring into him and hoping that it ends with marriage and hoping that it ends with more kids. I just honestly hope it's sustainable. It's a real relationship and not just he got money, so we gonna figure it out. Because that's not it's not
And
realistic.
at the end of the day, give credit to Jazzy. I never really heard anything bad. I never ever heard
Right.
she got ran through crazy. She been out here and everything I hear, even from her podcast with Shan.
Yeah,
With Shan Booty. Like she's like, I appreciate the guy. I put his clothes out, I unpack. She's doing everything to be a wife. Like she's literally doing everything to be a wife. Like it sounds like it. And she sounds like she appreciates him. So at this point, it's like, Cam, like, what else are you waiting for? Like, come on, you know what I mean? So I
And
don't know.
he
I
talked
don't know.
about
It's crazy.
earlier in the video that his parents have been married forever, that they are the epitome of a healthy, happy relationship. So you know what a happy relationship looks like. You know what a healthy one looks like. But that fear of divorce is so high in his head that, which again, how is it that high when you see your parents? They're still very much married. I just like how where's the divorce is very like
Kind of negates what he's saying.
exactly.
It makes what he's saying more bullshit.
Exactly, because again, the one couple that you see, maybe the other couple you see, but the one that you grew up seeing every day was your parents, and they're still married to this day. So why would divorce be the first thing that pops into your mind? But maybe that's insecurity on his part more than anything else. It's not really, oh, my parents. It's more he's insecure that he's not, for whatever reason. I'm not going to jump to cheating because, again, and divorce happens for so many other reasons other than cheating. There's so many other things. So again, it could just be an insecurity on his end. It's just, I think my last take on this would have to be, it's such a I think it's hitting the community so big, like everyone's talking about it, because regardless of who you are or what age you are, these are celebrities, these are people look up to. And to see that this is how a grown man is maneuvering, and women he's still getting women to lay down and have sex with him, they're like, oh wow, so I could just say I make money and I could be everywhere. Like people are really idolizing this and thinking that this is sustainable and it's okay. And again, it comes back to creating broken homes. Like these kids are going to be the result of this. These kids are going to grow up without their mom in the house, without their dad in the house, while seeing a healthy relationship. And maybe co-parenting is great. And again, co-parenting, nothing wrong with co-parenting. But at the end of the day, it's still a broken home. It's still not a traditional home. And not to say that that's necessarily a good, like traditional homes are like the end all be all, but how many non-traditional relationships have you seen that the kids are like actually happy? The kids aren't impacted in a negative way.
And I think too, the problem is that it was like, I understand if you tried once and it broken home, okay. Tried maybe twice and it didn't work, broken home, okay. But to keep on and keep on and keep on, that's crazy. That's insanity. So you know what I mean? If he had 2 kids, and this probably wouldn't even be as big of a deal as long as he was like, yeah, I'm not trying to create broken homes. I'm trying to find the right one. You know, we understand mistakes happen, but at the same time, like, come on, this is a little crazy. Lil Durk, 8 kids. NBA YoungBoy, like 12 kids. One of the football players had 2 chicks he was smashing pregnant at the same time. I think he got like 6 or 7 kids.
Like,
so it's just like,
and the justification always comes back to, I have money. He got money. Like
and
that's
it's really, they can't control themselves.
Exactly. The no self-control.
That's really it. No accountability, no self-control. I see this Instagram model. I got mad money. Come to wherever with me. Let's go on vacation. And then they just like, come on, we gotta grow up. Yeah. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Like, comment, subscribe. Social media links down below. More on the way.
Yep.
And
peace and Pan-Africanism. Always and forever.
Peace.